Waking Up Singapore.
Gotta get up.
The Big Show on Kiss 92.
Gotta get up.
Good morning, Singapore, and good morning, Doctor. This morning, we're joined by Dr. Grace Tan, General Surgeon from Gleneagles Hospital. Good morning, Dr. Tan.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're here to talk about belly fat versus belly bloating. Are people mistaking bloating for fat or fat for bloating?
Well, it's a difficult topic to differentiate in that sense. Well, I mean, bloating is a common symptom, isn't it? Everybody would experience bloating at some point in their life.
Yeah.
And it really, I think when patients come to see me, what they're trying to describe is a sense and sensation of fullness in their tummy. It's a feeling of their tummy being very distended, and it could be a variety of reasons for this.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes I do experience that, especially at night. I find that my stomach is bloated, but sometimes also very hard and a little bit painful, but it doesn't last very long. You know, like by the time I wake up in the morning, it's gone. So what is it that causes belly bloating?
Right, so what you describe is probably maybe gas.
Okay.
You know, so that goes away quite quickly. But I was mentioning earlier on that I guess a common and a very simple way of remembering the different causes of belly fat is this mnemonic called the 5 Fs.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first F is what you mentioned, flatus. which
Flatus,
is
okay. Flatulence,
gas.
yeah.
Yeah. So you could be gassy. It's likely due to food that you eat, for example, that forms a lot of gas, and you feel bloated because of that. The second is fluid. So there's water or there's some kind of bodily fluid in the tummy, and that's causing you to be distended and feeling of fullness. The third is feces. Right? And feces is when you're constipated, you haven't gone to the toilet for a while, and you're a bit bunged up. You haven't gone, and that could be because of diet as well, but it could also be because there's something blocking, and you haven't been able to pass because of that. The fourth is, let me remember that, fetus.
Oh my gosh, what do you mean?
So
You're pregnant and you don't know it?
Yeah, so you'll be surprised. There have been, I mean, it's not that common nowadays, but there have been people who come in and, they say they're bloated, but, we test it and they turn out to have a baby in them.
Oh, wow.
And the last would be fat, I guess.
Okay.
You just gained some weight and, had too much durians or mooncakes, I guess.
Right. So there's so many factors.
Yeah.
But how severe is abdominal bloating, and should we be concerned about it if someone does not, if all those reasons you brought up was not in play, but a person is just bloated all the time, should that person be concerned?
Yeah, so it's difficult to tell because it's like I said, a common symptom. So it's sometimes hard to say when you should be concerned and when you can just ignore it. But I think like what Angel said, if your symptoms come on once in a while only and it goes away after a couple of half an hour or something, then it shouldn't be anything serious. But of course, if it's persistent, if you're having it and it's getting more severe and it's getting more frequent, I would say that it's something that you should probably get it checked out because it
Right.
could be one of the more sinister reasons for bloated.
Yeah, because I know of some people who have been on medication for many, many years. The moment they feel discomfort, they take medication.
For bloating?
For bloating and
Oh,
for
really?
basically tummy discomfort.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know how healthy that is.
Constantly being on meds.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you've already have it checked out, for example, and you made sure that it isn't any of the sinister issues, and then sometimes you may need to have some medication to help. But it's probably something underlying that you haven't figured out,
Yeah.
something that your body is sensitive to, like a food probably that's causing a lot of gas, and that results in the bloatedness. And some patients have that habit of medicating
Yeah.
and relying on the medications for to get rid of the symptoms.
Okay, all right.
We're speaking to Dr. Grace Tan, General Surgeon from Gleneagles Hospital this morning, and we're talking about belly fat versus bloating, the difference between belly fat and bloating. Let's continue to talk to Dr. Tan on The Big Show TV. In the meantime, here's Sam Smith. I'm Not Here to Make Friends on Kiss 92.
So you mentioned, doctor, earlier certain foods that could be causing gassiness, the feeling of bloatedness. What are the most common foods? I mean, besides people saying, "Oh, you're going to eat a lot of onions, you're going to have a lot of gas."
Yeah.
Are there other foods that typically cause that in people?
Well, yeah, so there are the common foods, like you mentioned, onion, garlic. I guess there's certain kinds of vegetables like cauliflower and broccoli that are associated with more gas.
Okay.
But there are also foods that are specific to individuals that you could be sensitive to. So everyone is different. So sometimes I have a patient who takes, for example, pineapple, and they get bloated.
I was about to bring up pineapple.
Oh,
actually,
really?
because many people. No, I'm okay with pineapple.
Okay.
But I know of a number of people who can't take pineapple because they feel it's quite
Gassiness.
harsh, on their stomachs
Oh, right. Okay.
because it's acidic.
Yeah,
Right?
correct.
Okay.
So sometimes it's a specific food to you, that causes gas. And so, I mean, I think by sort of being sensitive to what you eat, knowing how your body feels, you can most of the time try and eliminate the causative agent in that sense.
So does it mean that you are allergic to those foods? Is that a sort of an allergic reaction?
It's probably a very mild, well, we'll call it a sensitivity.
Okay,
Yeah.
more so than an allergy.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. You also mentioned earlier sinister issues. What could sinister issues be when it comes to bloating?
Well, so of the sort of 5 Fs, if you go back to that, I guess
right, okay.
the fluid, so if you have fluid in your abdomen, it probably means that, some people do have some fluid in the abdomen. That could be normal. But if you have an excessive amount of fluid in the abdomen, then that could be because you have a tumor somewhere else that is contributing to that fluid. It could be because there's a tumor that is producing that fluid inside the abdomen that's causing the fluid as well. So that's one. The other is if you have constipation, so you're not going to the toilet as frequently as you normally do. It could be because there is something blocking, and of course a blockage is it's what we worry about is a growth in the large intestine that may be causing that constipation.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I have had patients who have gone to see a doctor because of bloatedness and persistent sort of discomfort, and they've been told that it's just fat. You're just gaining weight,
Right.
but unfortunately that, after going through some investigations, they found to have something more sinister, like you mentioned.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So you see, being constipated is a problem. Going too often is also a problem, is it?
It could be. So anything out of the ordinary for you. So if your usual bowel habits is like going
3
to the
times a
toilet-
day.
Okay.
TMI. Too much information.
And, you suddenly stop going or you are suddenly going 5 times a day, for example, then that's out of ordinary for you, then you should probably get it checked out.
But over a period of time.
Yes.
Not
over-
just a
not a day.
one-time thing, right?
If it's a lifelong thing, you've always been going 3 times a day, then it's
fine.
okay.
Then it's
Yes.
fine. I wanted to bring up one of the Fs. I know you're not a gynecologist, but how does one not know that they're pregnant? How many times have you seen this sort of case?
No, it's not common.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are stories that we hear about
I have heard of
yeah.
stories of people that are 8 months pregnant and all of a sudden, no, baby pops
is
out.
that possible,
How
huh?
is that possible?
8 months.
I don't know. You have to ask them.
Yeah, because I mean, is it not being educated about what to look out for? Is it being too young that they don't know? You know what I mean? Because I have heard of quite a few number of cases that girls and women don't know that they're pregnant. They just think they're getting fat.
Yeah, I think it's probably education, but of course, I think maybe in the past that used to be more common. But I think there's definitely with
getting
time,
less and less.
getting less and less.
Okay, thank goodness. Okay. All right. What about treatments that are available to cure bloatedness? Anything that someone can do at home? Say they're watching us right now on television and they're feeling what you've described. Anything that they can do immediately?
Well, if it's due to gas, for example, then sometimes you can take certain natural remedies in that sense, like ginger tea and certain kinds of teas to reduce the gas. If it's constipation, then, of course, taking more fluids and making sure you're having lots of fiber in your diet can help. I mean, the immediate bloated feeling, it really depends on the cause of it. And if you understand the cause of why you're bloated, then you can target it. Yeah.
I think if it's bloatedness because of gas, for example, wouldn't you feel better if you just, just let it out? Like maybe go to the toilet and just, break wind. Because for some people, maybe they're shy. If they're in the office, they're feeling really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They're afraid to expel the gas.
Does it work that way?
But would you encourage people to, if they do feel that feeling of bloatedness because they're gassy, to just, let go.
But you can't force it, right? I mean, sometimes you can't force.
No, but some people
letting go
force themselves to hold it in, and that's where the problem lies, I feel.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sure you've not had that question before, but yeah, should we just let all hell break loose?
Well, definitely letting go of the gas will help with the bloated feeling and the discomfort. Yeah, so I mean, if you really are feeling uncomfortable because of the bloatedness and you think it's due to gas and you have that sensation of needing to go, then go to the toilet or something. Yeah.
But sometimes gassiness also makes you feel nauseous.
Yeah, so the tummy is sort of divided up into the upper part where you have your stomach and then some bits of your small intestine, and then there's the lower parts, which is the large intestine. So if there's gas in the upper part, then you tend to maybe burp a little bit more and feel bloated in the upper part of your abdomen. Whereas if it's a problem in the lower abdomen, in the large intestine, then you may, have more gas at the bottom and symptoms more like diarrhea or constipation.
So there's no such thing as I'm right now I'm in the office and I want to kind of I want to fart, right? But because it's not very pleasant, I feel like burping as well, so I burp instead. Yeah, it
doesn't work that way,
it's a different
area.
Different area.
Okay. Is there a more common area that sort of belly bloating happens in, upper or lower?
No, it can happen in
either.
Either.
Okay.
See, based on the questions we're asking you, obviously, thank goodness, knock on wood, we don't have any bloating issues, right?
Yes, not right now, not right now.
But it is a very common thing now, right, Dr. Tan?
Yeah, I think often I do see patients who come in with bloatedness. It's one of the most common symptoms that patients have. And I think, maybe it's because of the diet that we have right now. And I guess, and also people being a bit more aware that bloatedness could be related to other more sinister issues.
Right.
Let's speak about
that's
diet.
once again very important. Getting yourself checked. If you're unsure, just get yourself checked. You feel better after checking.
Okay, we'll talk about like foods, diet that we have, and how to get ourselves
belly
checked.
fat. Belly fat. Let's start
Belly
talking
fat.
about
Okay,
belly
let's
fat.
talk about belly fat. Okay.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Okay, look out if you're on the AYE heading towards the MCE after the Portsdown Avenue exit. Avoid lane 1. An accident has been spotted. Also on the ECP heading into the city before the East Coast Park Car Park H exit, a vehicle has broken down. Look out for that and stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning on Good Morning Doctor is Dr. Grace Tan, General Surgeon from Gleneagles Hospital. Once again, good morning, Dr. Tan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. So today we are talking about belly fat versus bloating. We've covered bloating quite a bit. Now, belly fat. I wish FD were here.
It's so mean. But you're allowed to use him as a specimen.
No, because I think he's always going he wants to get rid of his belly fat.
Yeah.
And for us, we say this very simply. Eat less.
And work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard for him. I mean, he's a 67-year-old man who doesn't really like to exercise.
There's no excuse, though, with age. I don't know.
No, you can't say that.
No, I feel there's no excuse with age. Doctor?
His bones are brittle.
No, his bones are not that brittle. I've seen him run. Doctor, what would you say to someone who wants to sort of get rid of belly fat, but is saying, I can't get rid of my diet, I can't exercise?
Well, can't is a strong word, I guess. But yeah, I do agree with Angel that, if you really put your mind to it, it's possible no matter your age. I know people who are in their 70s and they're still running every day. And so I think that it's definitely possible. But yeah, of course, it does take a bit of determination and, setting your mind to it. I think belly fat is, something that everybody is concerned about. Largely, I think it would be contributed by your diet. So, eating healthy making sure you have lots of greens in your diet, taking less fat, and yeah, being active is important.
Singaporeans eat too much.
We do. There is too much to eat. That is the problem. You were speaking about diet, like certain foods like garlic, cauliflower, broccoli, onions that do contribute to bloatedness.
Yep.
What about our hawker food? Does hawker food contribute to bloatedness?
Because it's so oily.
Does the oil contribute to bloatedness?
Yeah, I think that some people are sensitive to oils, and so if you and especially if you usually have a very clean diet and then you suddenly go and have something oily, then definitely that would result in you having bloatedness. Like your body reacts to that oil. I mean, I love our hawkers in Singapore. They are amazing, and the food that they make is really great. But yeah, I guess everything in moderation. I would say that, of course, everybody should still enjoy. And if you like a packet of char kway teow or whatever, you should still have it, but not too often. And and also just making sure that the rest of your diet is balanced and filled with more greens. Would be important.
To be fair, I think there are healthy options at hawker centers, but
Absolutely.
because the unhealthy food is so very yummy and tempting,
It is, though.
most people, when they go to a hawker center, will not go for the healthier options. They will just go for the unhealthier options. And the problem here is that hawker centers exist here in Singapore so that food is affordable.
Yes, for sure. And accessible.
And
yeah.
for some people who don't cook, they go to hawker centers on a daily basis.
I mean, if I could have hawker food every day without any repercussions, I would, because the food tastes so great and the options are so varied. You can get just about everything there.
Yeah.
And if it didn't do so much damage to us on a daily basis, then I would every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, opt for hawker food.
Fish soup, I think.
Fish soup,
From
okay.
the hawker center.
All right,
That's
okay.
the healthy option there. So some of your patients who have seen you, Dr. Tan, how many of them go to you and actually ask you, because they already have belly fat, and they're asking you, is this bloating or is this
Fat.
belly fat? Because, I mean, they may feel bloated from time to time, and but they're also at the same time wondering why they can't get rid of their belly fat.
Yeah,
So
why is it the hardest? It seems to be the hardest, right, to get rid of?
why is it? That's visceral fat as well,
Visceral
which is
fat.
not healthy, right?
Yes, correct. So visceral fat is the fat that is like inside the tummy. And it builds up over time and with age. I mean, there are patients who come and see me when they have bloatedness, and they do ask if it's due to fat, but I think the more important thing is to make sure that it isn't one of those sinister things that we've spoken about before we, blame the fat in that sense. I mean, I have had patients, like I mentioned, that have gone to see a doctor because they're worried because the tummy is getting bigger in that sense. They have been told that it may be fat, but in the end it has turned out to be something more sinister, like an ovarian cancer, because that has spread to the lining of the abdomen, or a kind of other intestinal cancers that have caused problems. So yeah, important still to get it checked out if you are concerned and you find that things are not the usual.
Yeah, I want to ask about visceral fat when we go back on the Big Show TV.
All right, it's 8:18.
Kiss 92 time check.
So you were talking about visceral fat being tummy fat, actually on the inside, and your stomach is fat. Is that correct?
Yes, like inside our tummy we have the intestines, right?
Yep.
And along the intestines there are like these peripheral fat tissue, and so visceral fat is when these fatty tissues, I guess, get enlarged. We also have, I guess, fat around our heart, fat around all the
Yeah,
organs.
yeah.
It's just part of our bodies. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
how
so in
do
the
we-
process, it kind of like
It builds up.
and it kind of like surrounds the organs, which is not healthy.
And that's what
Right.
makes you
Yeah.
look a lot bigger, because some
Yeah.
people. So do some people suffer from just outside fat and not visceral fat? Never. It starts with that,
Yeah,
does it?
it's usually a reflection of
What's
an
on the
over
inside?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Wow. I had no idea it was belly fat. You
It
know.
wa- it
wow.
is, yeah.
Okay, so it's similar to like a fatty liver, but this is a fatty belly.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Like, yeah, I know you're thinking of food now.
No, I'm not. No, seriously, I've cut my food for the past
Yeah.
2 months now, and I really, really feel like, because you know what, the more we eat, the more we want to eat.
Of course,
So it
yes,
was very
yes.
tough for me because I love my food, right?
Yeah.
It was really, really tough for the first, actually it's not that much, maybe 1.5 weeks, where I really cut my food down.
It's like withdrawal period, right?
Yeah, and then after that, right, I don't get hungry anymore. I can have like one meal now,
Is that
and
true?
I'm fine.
About shrinking the stomach, they always say like if you're so used to eating so much, then your stomach is so used to having so much. But if you slowly cut your food down, like what Glenn has done, does your stomach literally shrink, or is it your body just telling you that you really don't need so much?
Yeah, it's more the latter where it's because your body, you're just used to less, having less.
Okay, okay.
The stomach doesn't really shrink.
Shrink physically,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Okay.
And it feels great.
No,
now.
it does. Yeah, you feel lighter as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
I've cut down on my drinking just a little bit because my drinking is
little
more
bit.
important than the food. Yeah, but in terms of like thinking about food all the time,
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. So and I feel lighter as well.
Yeah. And more agile.
And I am lighter now. Actually.
Okay.
77 now.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, he goes
2
through
more
this.
kilos.
He goes through this phase once
he
a year.
announces it on the
And
radio.
Always,
Of course,
always.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
we keep
Okay.
track. Interesting point that Glenn brought up: drinking alcohol. Does that contribute to belly bloating or belly fat?
Well, I think both.
Okay.
But also the bloating part, I think, which is like what you're referring to, is probably like gas. It can contribute to that in certain people. So if some people, unfortunately, are sensitive to alcohol, and so when they do take the alcohol, they get more bloated. Yeah, and of course, alcohol, especially the ones that are very high in the carbohydrates, can result in increased belly fat.
Yeah.
Okay, the sugars. Yeah.
So if I want a meal now, it's like, okay, 1 stout.
Okay.
That's a meal for me.
Okay.
I don't mix it with food. I think a lot of the time when you mix like beer or other alcohols, especially beer, with food, oily food, finger food, whatever, then
So you're
that
drink-
contributes to your fat.
So you're drinking your meal. Is that what you mean? Right?
I'm not
It's a liquid
encouraging it.
diet.
Yeah. It's like
Liquid diet. Yeah.
meal in a cup.
But it's either this or that, lah. At the end of the day, it's a calorie deficit, right?
Yeah,
That's the way
Yeah.
you not put on weight.
Why is it that do men suffer from bloating or belly fat more than women, or vice versa?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that women probably do suffer more. I think
Really?
more
Okay.
women with bloating, because I guess there's also the element of our hormones and the time of the month
Yeah.
when you do get
Bloated. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's bloating. Belly fat would be men, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes,
because men
I think so too.
because men suffer from beer bellies more than women. I mean, women can have the same amount of beer, but it's a man that will get the beer bellies for some strange reason.
Somehow I just feel like that term beer belly is,
Is what?
it's such a loose term, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a beer belly. It's just belly fat.
I don't know, doctor.
I guess it came about by the fact that I guess beer is high in carbohydrates compared to a lot of the other alcohols. So
Okay.
that maybe, and in men who drink lots
Yeah.
of beers, like,
And men would
7,
typically-
8 pints of beer,
Yeah.
and they get...
And they're typically related to the beer drinking community more than
Yes.
women. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
beer.
Belly
That's why I'm
fat.
quite protective over beer.
I
So you say
see.
beer belly, it doesn't give beer
That's why
a
you
good
don't
reputation.
like it.
You know what I mean?
You feel guilty.
So
That's
I
what
feel
it
like
is.
whiskey belly.
Yeah, it's
I
not
want
the same.
ladies to drink more beer.
Vodka belly.
Beer is a wonderful drink. I hear it's got many benefits.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good for the tummy as well. I don't know about that.
Puts you in a good mood.
Yeah, puts you in a good mood.
My good friend Dr. Mizan is probably watching right now. Yeah, we enjoy a couple of beers once in a while.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so doctor, what kind of tests can be done to detect bloating?
Well, so bloating is a symptom that a lot of patients come to see me for. And what we are trying to do is to make sure that this bloating is not something sinister in nature. I mean, if it's due to gas and if it's due to fat, then, that can be sort of treated with lifestyle changes. But if it's something more sinister, like the fluid, like constipation because of a blockage, then we really do need to investigate and to come to the underlying issue. So usually, I mean, if the patient comes to see me or see any of the doctors, we'll get a medical history where we ask them questions to make sure and to determine what is the cause of your bloatedness. Then we do some we'll do an examination. to check.
Colonoscopy? Does this involve a colonoscopy at
Yeah,
all?
so at the end of the day, I think that you probably, if you want to make sure that and to find out whether the bloating is due to something in the intestines or in the stomach, then you would need to have a kind of scope. So the scope for the stomach is called a gastroscopy.
Okay.
Yeah, and the scope for the large intestine, like you mentioned, is called a colonoscopy.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so that would allow us to see inside the intestine to make sure there isn't any internal sort of issue that's causing a blockage or producing gas or and things like that.
And for the stomach scope, it goes through the throat?
Yes,
Oh, it goes
it
through.
does,
Okay, it goes
yeah.
down. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds scary,
It does.
but it's done under sedation, meaning that you'll be asleep during the procedure. They spray a bit of a numbing spray at the back of your
So
throat.
you don't feel
that
later
feeling,
on, yeah.
And it's done in 5 to 10 minutes, so it's really quick, and it allows us to see and to test for like a bacteria called H. pylori that can result in bloatedness. Increases your risk of ulcers as well as stomach cancers, and if we can find that, we can treat it, and that sort of solves the problem in that sense.
Yeah.
So
if I go for this, we must be very, very careful when it goes down my throat. Because if not, the next day I'll be going like, yes, I do. All the great songs in one place. Okay, going on.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the KPE towards the ECP right after the airport road exit, look out for a broken down vehicle. Also on the AYE heading towards the MCE after the Portsdown Avenue exit, an accident has been reported there. If you have any other news, it's 8855-0920.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's Good Morning Doctor Day with Dr. Grace Tan, General Surgeon from Gleneagles Hospital, and we've been talking about bloating this morning.
So I have a question, Dr. Tan. We always talk about frequent health checks, like for your heart, for any other things that might come about as you age. Do we do the same for our stomachs? Things like colonoscopy or the other one word that I cannot pronounce.
Gastroscopy?
That's the one. The
Gastroscopy.
gastroscopy.
Yes.
So, okay, gastroscopy. Is that a common check to be done, like on a yearly basis, if we have to do it at all?
Well, you don't have to do it on a yearly basis,
Okay.
but I think that, it really depends on your risk and if you have any symptoms. So I think that if your bloatedness is persistent, it's really affecting you, it's causing you to have discomfort and, feeling of fullness, and it happens very often, then I think that it's definitely warranted that you do or consider a gastroscopy to check the internal lining of the stomach. So the good thing about doing these scopes is that we can actually find out if you have anything within the stomach or within the colon, if it's a colonoscopy, and at the same time, if we see something, we can do a biopsy or a test to ascertain what this problem is. We can check also for any sort of disease issues that we can test for and treat. For example, I mentioned this bacteria called H. pylori that is common in the stomach. And if we can find this bacteria, which can also result in the bloatedness, we can treat it with a simple course of antibiotics and reduce your risk of, cancer, ulcers, and things like that. And with the colon, if we find a polyp, for example, then we can remove that polyp and, prevent this polyp from, turning sinister down the road.
Right.
Okay. So other than that, we don't need the scopes. That's what you're saying. If we're feeling fine, no bloating, bowel movement is perfect, our diet is good, we don't need the scopes.
Well, I wouldn't say you don't need, because, you bring up a really good point, Angel, that a lot of people also do have issues, but they don't have symptoms, unfortunately.
Okay.
Oh, my
All right.
goodness.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's where screening comes in. So screening is when you look for diseases before they become an issue. So in Singapore, we do have a screening program for colon. So patients above the age of 45 should go for a colonoscopy in order to check the large intestine to see and what we're looking for is not cancer, but what we're looking for is really these polyps. And these polyps that become cancer in the future. So we can remove them early. For the stomach, there are some patients who should be recommended to undergo a stomach scope. But they are usually the ones that are slightly higher risk, in the sense they have a family member, they have family history of stomach cancers or stomach problems, then they should undergo a gastroscopy. But it's not a sort of a countrywide initiative or recommendation.
Okay, all right.
So there you go. Go for a health screening.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is, detecting it early,
yeah.
is very, very important.
Yeah, definitely.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been speaking to Dr. Grace Tan. Dr. Tan, where's your practice, by the way, and what is it called?
Oh, my practice is at Gleneagles Hospital.
Okay.
And it's called the Cancer Surgery International. So I'm actually a cancer specialist and also a general surgeon. So I see patients, with all sorts of abdominal issues and cancer. And I think that the other thing which I wanted to bring up is that, nowadays, like you mentioned, if you pick up something early, we can definitely treat it and really offer amazing treatments for these conditions. And I think a lot of times, a lot of patients are worried about investigations. They're worried to undergo, the scope, this
Yeah.
and that. But really, I want to reassure everyone that if you go to any of the doctors, will be looking after you, right? And so, you don't have to worry about these investigations because they're all safe and they can be done, quite in a short period of time. And if we detect something, it's easily treatable.
Right.
And they are painless.
Yeah.
They happen so quickly.
But it is quite scary for some people.
Going
who,
into it.
these things play on their
Yeah,
minds.
absolutely,
And all that.
absolutely.
If you're one of those people and you're listening in right now, it's not a coincidence that you're listening to Dr. Grace Tan. I think this is an indication that you should definitely go get yourself checked. So thank you so much, Dr. Tan, for joining us once again this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in.
Okay,
Thank
thank you so much, Dr.
you,
Tan.
Dr.
We'll just
Tan.
mics are still on, but we'll just take a photo.
Okay.
Because we have another guest coming in.
Oh,
right
yes,
after
some
you.
VIP.
Yes, Minister Edwin Tong. Okay, so we'll take a photo over there.
There?
Yeah. Do you need the light from the? No? Okay.
So over here. Over here, this way?
Yeah, yeah. Are we under the? You on this? Okay. Good. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. So how do you know that? Oh, okay.
So I just met up with them a couple of days ago. And I was like, I'm trying to play golf with them. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
You guys are amazing. I was just telling Jasmine that, I think it's amazing you guys just being interactive, being on top of the news, it's what you need to
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much.
You caught us actually this week, when
Light.
the family is the
Very light,
smallest.
yeah.
Actually, we'll have like FD here, and sometimes we'll have
Daphne.
Daphne here as well, plus our two producers. One producer is down, with
Yeah.
the flu today.
So it's a very small team today,
Yeah.
considering.
It's not at any one time enough.
Yeah,
To seven.
So you guys have fun all the
it's a
time.
big show.
Yeah.
for sure.
That's a big family.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thanks, of course. No, thank you. It's our pleasure.
You're wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you, doctor. Have a good day.
Yeah,
Thank
you too,
you.
you too.
Bye.
Straight to the clinic, or what?
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
See ya.
Thank you so much.
How late is it? Hello? Okay, don't worry, we're still here. Okay, I'm just trying to log into my Facebook because I have no idea if anyone asked any questions earlier, but Facebook has locked me out, so I'm finding it hard to get in.
Ash! Oh, that's wrong. Who are you talking to?
Whoever is watching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said I'm trying to get into Facebook, but I can't. It's locked me out.
Oh,
So
what have you done?
I know, right? You entertain first, so
Okay,
that
where's
I
my
can
microphone?
Try
I should bring my
and, I
microphone
can
in.
try and log in.
I should start singing. Like in between, when we're transitioning.
You can
It's
sing
like,
now. Sing
what?
what?
Transitioning. Sorry, no, not transitioning. But when we're waiting for the next guest to come in,
Uh-huh.
I'll just sing a song.
Okay, sing.
Not today. I don't
Oh.
have my mic.
You can't sing without your mic.
No. I have to
Oh.
have my karaoke mic.
Okay. You
Then
should
there's
bring.
the echo function in the karaoke microphone.
The reverb, right? That's what they call it.
Yes, yes. And no old songs already. I used to sing old songs all the time.
Do you know any
These
new
days-
songs? 654.
We got to sing new songs.
What would you sing?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Do I ask too many questions?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, radio DJ. Radio DJs
This
ask
is
many
true.
questions.
This is true. We have to.
Especially if you're a DJ on Money FM. So you've got like a future there.
Okay, let's try and log
Okay,
in.
you know FD is tuned in, right? For sure he's tuned
Good
in.
morning,
He's
Mark.
in his ape singlet and his boxer shorts, and he's sitting on his sofa right now watching us on YouTube.
I cannot imagine him in boxer shorts. I feel he's a pajamas guy.
No, he's not
I
a pajamas guy.
I feel he's a long pants, checkered pajamas or striped pajamas guy. I feel he's a striped pajama pants and maybe a singlet. Maybe a singlet because it's too hot to wear the full thing. But I
Actually,
feel-
I'm not sure, but I'm just guessing he's like a singlet, a
You
tank
guys-
top, and a boxer
you
shorts
guys
guy
have
because
spent-
I am like that.
You guys have spent nights together before. I mean, you guys have been together
but-
for like 20 years.
Yeah, but I don't think like, I mean, we've shared like rooms
Yeah, exactly.
while on company retreats and all that.
Come on, give us the dirt.
Shorts for him, shorts and a
okay.
t-shirt.
Okay.
But then again, I mean, at home, I'm not in shorts and t-shirt. I'm not even in shorts and a tank top. You know, I mean, when you're at home,
you're
it's
just not
different.
even in
It's a
shorts.
different- Correct. Yes.
Okay.
That's why, you know, I mean, I've definitely fenced out my patio area because, you know, people always
the
look in.
minister's here.
Minister's in the house! Come on in. I can't believe that. Andre didn't open the door.
Good morning.
Good morning! You are late. You're not late.
Sorry.
okay, come, have a
Morning, brother. Good morning, brother.
We were thinking of having you there.
Me?
Yeah.
Where's FD?
He's on leave.
Oh, he is?
He is, yeah. He's on leave. Sorry, he can't be here. Minister, that's your seat.
Okay.
Hello.
Good morning. Wait, come on in.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, I scared no microphone.
The microphone is on. So, Minister, we're already live.
Okay.
Bottom right is your screen.
Okay.
You can say
Hi.
hello to your legions of fans.
Oh, hardly any. not to worry, no one will bring the door down.
Good to have you with us again. It's been a while.
Yes.
When was the last time, huh? Over a year.
About a year plus ago.
He did downstairs.
We
Yeah,
did
in the
downstairs,
tiny
yeah.
studio downstairs.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
what we
I
were
wasn't
talking about
around.
this
I
morning.
wasn't
No,
around.
you
No.
didn't join us yet.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
more than a year ago.
That's more than a year ago.
More than a year.
It was
Much more.
More than a year ago. One of my volunteers is your security. I just saw her again.
Yes.
So nice. Violin.
Oh, yeah.
Wiley.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wai Ling.
She's
Wailing,
at
yeah.
the door today.
She's
Okay.
so sweet.
Yeah.
lah.
She's the
like
sweetest.
sweetest.
She
No,
takes
she's
my
brilliant.
photos all the time for my
Yeah.
security passes.
But she's security lah, so she probably can like arm wrestle us and.
Oh,
Absolutely.
without doubt. Don't even try, bro.
Don't I?
Yeah.
Please come closer to the mic.
I know.
Andre.
Yes, I forgot we're on already.
We are already on
morning.
Facebook. Yes.
Leon, hello.
If you have any questions for Minister Edwin Tong, please you can type it in our comments section. We're here today to speak about you, listen to the kind of music that you listen to because you've picked a couple of songs, and of course talk about music and Makan, which is on the 7th of October.
Great.
It's going to be very exciting.
So this is very interesting, Music in Makan, because we are working together with the Joo Chiat Citizens Consultative Committee.
CCC.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did this collaboration come about?
Okay, we're going
Minister.
on air.
26. Okay.
Okay.
26
We're going on air.
seconds. Okay, let's do this. You can use the.
Yes.
Jonas Brothers with Only Human right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. We thank Dr. Grace Tan once again for joining us today on Good Morning Doctor. And our second guest today is someone we know and love and haven't seen in quite a while. The one and only Minister Edwin Tong. Good morning, Minister.
Morning.
Good morning,
guys.
Minister. Of course, Minister for Culture, Community and Youth. We wanted to speak to you a little bit more, find out a little bit more about you. So let's kick it off with who inspired you growing up and who inspires you now?
Well, growing up, I suppose my parents were my early role models. Both of them were working, not much time at home, but each time they came back, I think there was, it was impactful, right, for myself and my siblings. But really, if you ask me who I model myself after, I mean, to be very candid, it would have been my friends from primary school, from secondary school. I looked up to them. I played with them, marbles, catch spiders, played football. And even now, I still keep in touch with many of them. So it's a great bunch. And I think much of us sort of took on characteristics and likes and dislikes like each other, in the way we behaved. Typical boys lah.
Typical boys. So what do you do in your free time? I'm sure marbles and catching spiders and all that are not involved anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately kids today don't have that opportunity. I mean, when I mention to young kids about catching spiders, I think the parents give me the evil eye, the side eye. But I think these days, of course, a bit more sedate. I enjoy time with the family. Cycling is a renewed passion of mine.
Yeah.
No more catching spiders. But of course, a good series on Netflix sometimes is a good way to just chill, take away the stress of the day and just sort of be in another world with someone else and live their dreams and or see their suspense, from a different perspective.
So
Absolutely.
Nice. What's your thing on Netflix? Do you like crime? Do you like K-dramas? Do you like rom-coms?
I'm more of a suspense thriller kind of series, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's good that Andre Houden is here.
Good morning.
Because speaking about like cycling and stuff like
Yeah.
that, you should go cycling with this guy.
I can't keep up with this fella.
I'm sure now you can. It's been a while since I've been cycling, and I know you cover Singapore, like our whole Joo Chiat area. He's the man on the bike.
He's the man on the bike. Wow. Well, speaking of Joo Chiat, any eateries that you can recommend? I mean, this is your hood.
So many.
We've been talking about food all morning,
We are all
right?
Katong people, by the way.
Okay.
Including
Okay.
myself.
Can you
I've moved out of the area, but
So you
growing
haven't been
up,
there for
my
a while.
goodness, there's no area in Singapore like the Katong
Katong area,
area.
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
you're putting the minister on the spot by asking him to
No, it's not,
recommend
it's
one
not
place.
not on the spot. I mean, depends on how much time you have,
And you
Not
gotta be
that
clear.
much time.
You got to be
Okay.
clear what kind of food, because we got everything, you
Yeah.
know. And when it comes to recommendations in the East, oh my goodness, like
Just to let you know, Minister, she's the one with the hard questions, by the way.
Oh,
I'm the
okay.
one with the very casual questions. So we're just talking about this just not off air. I'm like, she has a future. She has a very bright future on Money FM.
Oh, thanks. Okay, we are going to go back onto the Big Show TV, but we have a song that Minister Edwin Tong has picked. This is the first song, Depeche Mode's "Shake the Disease." Can you tell us why you chose this one?
Well, first of all, Depeche Mode was my favorite band growing up. Right, I used to collect all their albums, and these guys made all the singles out in different vinyl colors. So I used to collect all of them. And even now, I'm still a big fan. In fact, if you Google them, they're still on tour now.
They are, yeah.
Two of them, and I was lucky enough to be at the concert, some months ago. So it's an old band, so reminiscent of the past. And when you listen to music, you remember the genre and the time at which it was first released, and you remember the time when you're growing up. So Shake the Disease, I think, came out in my late teens or thereabouts, or mid-teens.
We're about the same time.
Yeah, about the same time.
Yes.
And it's melancholy, moody, but soulful and very, very enchanting. So that's why I picked this song.
Okay.
All right, here's Dave Gunn and gang, Depeche Mode, Shake the Disease on Kiss 92.
Okay, now you do the casual questions then.
I thought it was a good post-COVID song.
I like Somebody.
Somebody, I love
Right.
somebody.
Yes.
Somebody with that heartbeat.
Wow.
Oh my
That's right.
gosh.
That one I'll record on a cassette
Such a
with all the
sad
other
song.
love songs and then pass it to a girl.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
that one's such a romantic song, but so slow.
I
want somebody to share.
And it's got that heartbeat as well.
Okay, wait. So when you say record songs, right? How did you do it?
With
Because
a
I used to
cassette
want to
tape.
strangle the DJ.
Yeah,
when there's-
right. Speaking of DJs, I want to strangle them because I wanted to get the song from the start to the end. And you got
Correct.
to record it from the radio, right?
And it's impossible.
And they will speak over the intro
Oh my
of the
gosh,
song.
yes.
Sabo.
And I tell you why. It's actually a thing. It's almost like a bragging thing. If you can
Yeah.
speak right up to the point where the DJ, where the singer actually comes in.
Of course,
It's
yes.
called hitting the post.
Yes.
Yes, it is a bragging thing.
Correct. And
Yeah.
the thing is, there are a few DJs who started that. By that time, it was quite cool.
I always thought it was so cool that the timing was always
Correct,
on point.
and it took some work, because
Yeah.
you're talking, and you know when to start playing the song, and then right where you stop is where the vocals come in.
Start, yeah.
So there are three DJs. The two DJs that started it out first and foremost was number one, Mark Richmond, and Bernard Lim.
So we got to
I
strangle
see.
these two fellas.
These were my mentors when I joined them back then,
Right.
and I was taught. You
How
know
to
that
do
when
it.
you're on a hit music station, this is what you need to do.
Hit, I agree.
So that is why more and more DJs during that time started doing that.
Yeah.
Today is okay, but in those days when you were kids, and the only way you can get your music
It's
recorded is
recording
from the
it.
radio.
Yes,
Exactly.
and
So
you didn't want the
them talking,
voice in, yeah.
But we didn't think about that back then. It was just how it sounded out
Yeah.
there. We
Yeah.
didn't take into account there were people who wanted to record the
whole-
songs.
Because
Exactly.
not buy the cassette.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Because we would have to spend money. I remember I remember going to like Supreme Records and getting giving them a list for them to compile it on a cassette
Yeah.
for me.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
you pay lah, you pay.
It was
yeah.
expensive.
They
It was in our time it was $8 for a cassette.
Hey, and I didn't know
Compiled.
you could do that. You could send a song list and they would record
Like
for
a
you.
mixtape, but almost.
Yeah,
You create a mixtape.
Katong Shopping Center, bro.
Yeah.
I grew up poor, lah. There's no way I could
Far
have
East
spent
also had
$8.
places that. The Far East also had places.
I
like
just
that.
used to be on the radio waiting, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
And then you got to press the two
gotta
buttons to
press
record.
two.
And then someone comes along and erases your whole copy. Can you
correct.
imagine?
And then your mother will come in the room exactly and shout at you to go to sleep when the song is playing.
All right.
So, Minister Tong, when did you know that you were going to be, I'm not going to say a minister, because I think being a minister is a calling. Okay?
Definitely, yeah.
But when did you realize you wanted to be a lawyer?
Oh, that was not too difficult because in school I couldn't do math. I was not good in my sciences. And my Chinese, as Jai boy. So if you cut it down, I think you're left to history, literature, English.
Okay.
So I think it was not hard to determine where I might end up because I was always keen on the languages. I like reading a lot and I like writing as well. And I used to be, in my kids, I used to draw comics and make stories out of it, So
Oh.
that was my way of, innovation, imagination. And eventually that was what I settled into. And I think when I came out of school, it was quite natural to try for a place in law school, which I did.
And did you enjoy being a lawyer?
So I must say that the earlier years were tough. I mean, as a young
How long
law-
were you a lawyer before you went into
So
politics?
I graduated in 94. I
Okay.
left in 2018. So I spent 25 years in practice.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a
As-
good amount of time.
25 years in one firm. And so I grew to be part of the firm,
Oh.
from the time I was a trainee.
Criminal lawyer?
I was a civil lawyer mainly,
Okay.
but I did some criminal work as well. And I was mainly in court doing
But that's more
advocacy.
fun, right? Being a criminal lawyer. I always said, no, if I were to be a lawyer, I want to be a criminal lawyer.
You don't want to
Why
be like
not?
a divorce lawyer and all that. Be a criminal
Too
lawyer.
easy, lah. Must
Yeah.
be a
No,
I'm
criminal.
scared.
no, it's tough. The work they do is very tough because
It's hard, yeah.
criminal lawyer, even divorce lawyer, it's not easy because
Yeah.
you look after beyond more than just the law. You look after the whole relationship. It's not easy.
And
I
it's
should
with the
know,
family.
actually. I've been
It's
through that
always
quite a
with
few
the
times.
family, right?
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
I'm
okay.
scared, actually, to be a criminal lawyer.
But it's okay. You're not one, so it's fine.
Criminal or
But
lawyer?
you have a criminal mind.
Criminal or lawyer?
That's what I meant. Criminal or lawyer? Which one am I not?
Or a criminal lawyer.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at his.
It's
Look
what
at his
you-
smile. Look at his.
Nobody
laugh.
would hire him. Yeah, no.
Why not? They always say it takes a thief to catch
catch a
one.
thief.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Okay.
So are you admitting it now?
That I'm a criminal? Usually on Friday nights. Only.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about music and Makan.
Yeah,
Okay, this is
it's
very,
very
exciting.
exciting.
7th of October, Angsana Green.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's going to be a picnic / carnival with performances.
I can't wait.
Great food. It's going to be a Kiss 92 and a 1FM event.
Yes.
How did Juchet Citizens Consultative Committee get involved in this? I mean, you are MP of Marine Parade GRC. You love the Juchet area, so you handle mostly the Juchet area, right?
That's right.
How did this come about?
So, well, a couple of years ago, we did a similar thing before COVID with Sing Yao. So, good Chinese songs,
Yeah.
very casual. People all sort of by the beach, literally by the beach, with a breeze, food, makan, and good music. So we thought, why not replicate this with local music, local English music and try to do the same thing. So when the opportunity came up, working with Kiss FM, of course, we thought, why not try this and bundle it up with some great local fare as well? And while we're at it, why not get some of our local constituents who are musically talented come forward? So we have a couple of local acts, local meaning Joo Chiat residents.
Okay.
Young lady called Jordan Tan. I mean, she's fantastic. When she was like 6 or 7, she used to be a hit on the stage with all my National Day dinners and so on. So she's coming back again. She's of course much older now.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. Yeah, she's fantastic. And a couple of local ones from Joo Chiat, and we got the great guys Jack and Ray as well coming.
Yeah.
I love them. I used to hang out at Walla Walla.
Oh, wow.
Sunday
Walla
evenings
Walla,
to
my
catch
goodness.
them.
They're so cool because they're so interactive,
Yeah.
I mean, they feel so comfortable with the audience.
Yeah.
They're
And that's
engaging.
their secret.
Yeah.
to the
I think they're
success.
very natural, and I think it clearly shows that they enjoy what they do, which is in this line is great.
Yes.
So please come.
And also another one, I just wanted to share, another community act that's coming in are teachers from the schools around the area.
Oh, nice.
So I managed to find one. I came across teachers from St. Stephen's, St. Patrick's, Victoria.
And what are they
forming a
going to do?
band. They formed a band for us,
Wow.
and they will be performing a couple of songs from the
Okay.
Kiss playlist.
Wow.
From the
that's-
Kiss playlist.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
going to be very cool.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be something to look forward to. Of course, there'll be lots and lots of food. We've got pizza, we've got ice cream, we've got prata, we've got burgers. Are these all from places around the East as well?
Yeah, I was
They
going to
are.
add, in fact, they're all from Joo Chiat. And,
Oh, wow.
it's a great chance. I mean, you asked me just now, what's the great food from
All
Joo
this.
Chiat. So I don't need to tell you. You just come, 7th October, and they're all there.
Okay, we're going to try that. We've got another song that we're coming out of.
Okay.
CCR.
Yes. We're going to find out why you chose this one. So rare that we're playing the song on Kiss 92.
It's not rare, it's never.
That is
Oh,
true.
it's a classic. It's
It
a
is.
classic.
It is a classic. CCR Creedence Clearwater Revival. Have you ever seen the rain? This is the second song that Minister Edwin Tong has picked for us to play today on Kiss 92. Now, why do you like the song so much?
Okay, so when you grow up to music, I mean, your first and early influences would be your parents. right?
Yeah.
So my dad used to have a turntable. He used to have records, and I used to listen to all his stuff. And his stuff is really the old stuff. I mean, Tom Jones and
Oh, nice.
Engelbert Humperdinck, Perry Como.
Oh my
Elvis
goodness,
Presley.
Louis
Oh,
Armstrong.
yeah.
Elvis,
Who else?
I'm
Pat
sure.
Boone?
Pat Boone,
Indeed, yeah. Pat Boone. The Ray Conniff singers, you all know
Yes,
that?
of
Yes.
course, yes.
So this was one song that stuck in my mind. It was such a catchy tune, and it's of course been remade many times, right? The song, but the original by CCR, I think, still the best. So it's again reminiscent of time I was growing up, more carefree days, and the tune is such an anthem, So
Yes.
I really enjoyed it.
Hey, so the first time you heard that music, you were young, they were playing it. Did you think it was, what's with this old music at home? I want to play something younger. Or did you already like it?
No, not really, because when you're young and you're not exposed to other types of music, you don't think it's old music. You think it's nice music. You think that's what people listen to.
And it sounds like you grew up with music in the house, because that's
did.
the same for me as well. My parents played exactly that kind of genre and repertoire of music that you mentioned, at Christmases and whatnot. You would hear this, and that was the music that influenced me as well. Your Frank Sinatras and all that you grow up with. So is that still music that you listen to now
It
all
is.
the time?
It is still. It's still in me because I still have a playlist that has Engelbert Humperdinck on it. So
Because it brings back memories, right?
yeah, it brings back memories, and I in a way, like my dad would say, they don't make music like they used to now.
This
because
is true.
they pick. Of course, not everyone. I'm overgeneralizing, but the lyrics were well written. They told a story. The theme song or the bridge of the song was well crafted. So it's very well put together.
Yeah.
I feel they were very original as well.
Yeah.
So as opposed to music of now.
There was Lobo in my home.
There's
I had that too.
Yeah,
Stony.
Lobo, Stony. How
can I tell her?
Yeah, it's so sad though. These
A lot
songs.
of them were very tragic.
But
yeah.
when you listen to these songs again, although they're sad, but it still makes me feel good when I hear some of these songs.
Very melodic.
Yeah, but of course my mom was always a Boney M fan.
Oh.
so
And
there was
Glenn
a lot of Boney
Campbell.
M at home. Glenn Campbell, and the Village People.
Oh my gosh, the
believe that?
Village People.
The Village People,
Of course.
OMC.
We only know one song
Do
anyway.
you sing,
Do you
Minister?
sing?
Do you sing?
You know, we all sing, but
Yeah.
sometimes when some of us sing like me, you all go home. So don't try.
That's true. We all sing. It's whether we sing well or not.
Yeah.
Don't say that. We should, get together for a karaoke session, and if all of us feel like, hey, we sound quite good, maybe
Yes.
we perform
Oh,
We can
on
release a
7th of
record.
October.
record.
Release record. Better still. Better
Record
still.
and then lip sync on the 7th
In the
of
studio.
October. How about that? Yes.
We can use Daphne Khoo's studio.
There you
Haneri's
go.
studio.
She's
She's got a studio.
She's got a studio.
Wow.
Yes, she does.
Daphne's joining us, by the way,
I see.
on the big show.
Oh, is that right? I
Yeah,
Yes.
from in 2 weeks' time.
Yes.
Thereabout.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
so
she'll
that-
also be at Music and Makan.
That
She'll be
is
performing.
true.
She would be a very cool guest.
Yes.
She's
Yeah.
an amazing performer.
She is.
as well.
She is.
Okay.
We've got one more. So speaking of performances, we've got a local group here. Take Two. They go by another name now, I believe. They're going to be performing In Your Arms. Why did you choose this one?
Well, I think it's a bit of a shout out to our local music producers and our bands, and I think this is really a dedication to all our local musicians and all the artists out there from Singapore. I want this. I took the opportunity since I'm on this show to really give them a shout out because it's not easy doing what they do, but they do it because they enjoy it, they love it, and I think it's important that someone flies a flag for Singapore
For sure.
on the music, culture, and art scene. And I think this is a song that's representative of what they do, and it's a tribute to what they do. It's also a reminder for me that I did grow up listening to local bands as well. All your old Padres and Humpback Oak.
Right, yeah.
You remember them? So
Lilac Saints, Stone Revivals.
yeah, in fact, I go further back and listen to like Gingerbread and Heritage and
Wow.
Tokyo Square.
Tokyo
Yeah.
Square, my goodness.
Will
I
you remain-
mean,
Matthew and the Mandarins.
You remember the LP they released, Class X?
Yes.
Yeah, 1 and 2, right?
I remember the cassette.
Yeah,
It was a cassette,
the
no?
yellow
that I
color,
bought. Yellow color,
sleeve,
yes.
Yeah, that was my prized possession.
Wow.
So, I mean, this is really a throwback to all of that and all the musicians from Singapore that have, over the years, really made Singapore music special.
Do you keep all of this? Do you still have them?
I still have them. I still have
Wow.
them.
Okay, that's.
I
very
have
cool.
to I have to find a way to fix my turntable.
Okay. Okay.
And my turntable is the old generation where you need a phono stage to plug into your amplifier. You can't just plug it in like you do
But
now.
No
It's made-
problem. You know
it's-
who's the Lobang King here? Andre Hooden.
You know
He'll
what?
be able to find someone to repair your,
He
your
got plenty
plane.
of lobangs, you know.
No.
Plenty.
the good thing is
He himself is a lobang.
turntables have made a comeback, so I'm sure you'll be able to find someone that can fix it.
Yeah, but these new ones are all digital.
Digital.
turntables.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's
I'm
the
sure
difference?
there's someone out
What's the
there.
difference? I mean, I've never owned one personally.
Yeah.
Because I'm so young. So what is the difference?
So young.
For the phono and-
Yeah, so what?
I'm so young.
This guy's trying to be funny, Andre.
I thought this was a serious show. like.
Exactly.
Never.
No.
Well, I don't think we've ever been called serious, though.
No, a turntable is true analog.
Yes.
Right, so the sound is a lot richer. You the
warmer.
higher range and the lower range you can hear, and much warmer. And when you have a turntable playing, always put the cover down.
Down,
because
yes.
then it really gives you a fulsome song,
I
fulsome
see.
sound.
I never knew
Yeah.
I
that.
tell you
Big
who
difference.
else, you'll be able to sit down, have coffee, and talk about vinyls and these vinyl players and all that. Our general manager,
What?
Mr. Sim Hong Huat.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is a mad collector.
Yeah.
Yes, and Iggy too, our big boss.
Oh, that's right. I haven't seen Iggy's collection, but I know,
No,
Huat's
just from
collection.
chatting with him on the way up,
Yeah.
I think he is a serious collector.
He is.
Two serious collectors there. Ignatius Low and Sim Hong Huat. Okay, up next is the song by Take Two. What are they called now, though?
Club Mild.
Kamal. Yeah.
Club Mild.
I see. This is a cover, In Your Arms. I think it was originally recorded by Nico and Vince, I think, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. But they do a great cover of this song. Here they are. Take Two. Let's call them Take Two for now. With In Your Arms, another pick from Minister Edwin Tong right here on KISS 92. Good song.
It is a good song.
Yeah, we watched them on YouTube just now.
We did, yeah. Minister Tong, somebody asked, since you've had your recent health scare, what kind of
I didn't know this, you know.
Oh,
You didn't know
Maybe I
this?
didn't read it or whatever.
Yeah.
You
but
missed
I
it.
just found out about
Right.
it only. But I mean, you're fine. Right?
yeah, no, you're fine. But Ashley is asking what kind of sports you do now, since your
Well,
stent has been put in.
I was told to gradually get back to the same level of activity as I had actually. So it's a great relief that I don't have to cut down, but just to take it a bit slower and in stages. So, in fact, just about 4 or 5 days after the procedure, I was doing, quite brisk walking.
Okay.
And then I eventually graduated onto the rowing machine, which I still do. I think it's a great exercise device. And so I'm hoping to get back to biking. And
Okay.
then eventually maybe a bit of sport as well.
Right.
Okay.
It'll be
all right.
back to normal, man. Look at Andre Hooden. How many you have?
One stent.
Okay.
But I put it in almost close to 15 years ago.
And we've gone
Wow.
for long runs before and all that. 10
Oh.
kilometers, so we've done.
100%.
more
I
than
mean, I think in terms of exercise, I'm doing now more than
More.
ever.
that. Yeah.
And also eating more than
Because
ever.
you're more mindful, right, of your health
No,
after
I'm
something
not.
like that.
I'm not.
No.
I'm
No
going to
lah.
confess that
No? Oh.
you eventually just take it for granted. You become complacent. And you just eat. Like last night, I had olwa, I had satay,
Minister?
I had char kway teow, like, all in one sitting.
What about you though? Yours is more recent. I mean, are you
Yeah.
feeling that you need to be more
No,
healthy?
of course. I mean, when something like that hits you, you always sort of become a bit more circumspect rather, about what you do and how you do, what you eat. So, of course, it's only been about a month. So, I'm, of course, very careful now. But
Yeah.
I'm mindful that, after a while, you do sort
You
of go
will.
back to your old ways. But I think it's really a lesson for all of us to not take it for granted, because you can't do much about it if you don't look after your health well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah.
So important. So, he's the last person you want advice from. I can't believe you're using words just now like, just be complacent.
No,
Just
what I
eat
say is
whatever I want. It sounded like
I did
that.
not say
It
that.
sounded like
And
that.
yet-
Like,
and what
I
do you
was
have
shocked,
yesterday?
I'm like,
Oysters and
I
what-
thought he was supposed to give the minister some good advice. How
Yeah.
come
No,
you're
I
asking him to
I
be
said what
complacent?
happens is after like 10 years,
Yeah.
you become complacent, which is bad. And I know when I put
But
it in my mouth.
the thing is, when
I
it
know.
comes out of your mouth, you're like, oh my goodness, did I just say that?
No, but I'm
You
honest.
hear yourself, right?
But I'm
you got
hon-
headphones.
I know I have headphones on, but you have to be honest and if you're honest, then you can do something about
Are
it.
you going to do anything about it?
Of course.
Not.
No. Last night I ate.
Yeah, there
so
you go.
In the
So
afternoon,
today
I have
you
to
won't eat,
exercise.
yeah.
But minister, I mean, generally you don't eat unhealthy all the time, right? I mean, you
Even
watch what you
before.
eat
We all,
in moderation.
we all do, indulge in the olwa or the char kway teow ones. I mean, all Singaporean food, you can't
course.
avoid
Yeah.
it. But I think in moderation and not every day, and just be careful with your exercise as well. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Keep
Okay.
active.
This is where I think I have to thank my uncle, who is a GP. And I've been seeing him like my entire life. Since I was an infant, he was, my GP. He's 86 years old now. He just retired. But my entire life, right, he was telling me, these things don't touch, right? So, kaya don't touch.
Kaya?
It's very bad.
It's pandan, no, it's
So,
green.
so when he says don't touch, he made me scared from a very young age.
So
right?
you don't eat kaya toast?
In moderation.
Oh,
You know how
yeah, of
sometimes if
course.
you don't have anything you're thinking of, you will eat it
Forget.
all the time. So kaya in moderation, laksa in moderation.
Oh, of course. Laksa, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, is this the last talk set or what? Okay, here we go.
Oi.
Take two. What they call it now?
Club Mild.
Club Mild. Club Mild.
Club Mild. MILD.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I need to ask them why they changed their names to Club Mild. That is rather unusual.
Unusual.
It is. It is. Minister Tong, I just want to say, CH Koh has messaged on our Facebook, and he says, "My ma displays her photo with you at her home in Teluk Kurau.
that's so
She's
nice.
asking if there are
Oh.
any more concerts coming. If there are, please don't forget to jio her." So we have to tell her about music and Makan, right? Because if you
Definitely
live in,
jio her.
yeah, I live in Teluk Kurau. That's easy to get to.
7th of October,
Yeah.
by the way.
Angsana Green.
This is going to be Angsana Green. And, we were asking everyone to register
Yes.
as well. Because if you register, I mean, you'll be eligible for the lucky draw. And
you get a goodie
you get
bag.
the goodie
Yeah,
bags and stuff like that. But I just want to make this very, very clear. Admission is free.
Yes,
That's right.
please.
Everyone is invited.
Bring
Yeah.
your children, bring your pets. I'm sure it's an outdoor area, right? Can we
Absolutely.
bring pets?
You can
yeah.
bring your pets, bring your kids, or both.
Yeah.
Bring your mats, sit
Bring
down,
your mats, yeah.
chill, enjoy your picnic basket. Just come with friends, neighbors, anybody.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a great occasion.
And there's lots of food that's going to be there, like we mentioned, prata, pizza, ice cream, burgers, pastries, everything from the east.
Yes.
Or Juchet specifically?
From
or-
Juchet.
From Juchet.
Juchet.
Okay, from Juchet. Okay. Once again, that's happening on the 7th of October.
All right, now one last question before we let you go. I mean, we can still talk a little bit more on the Big Show TV, but since July, you've been taking care of the Kembangan Chai Chi constituency as well. How are you balancing this new responsibility? Minister?
Well, it's of course tougher to have both, but I must say that the one thing that has really been a real blessing, a real relief for me, especially since I came down with this illness some time ago, was the fact that the volunteers were all just stepped up. I mean, they are fantastic. I met them for the first time in back in July.
Yeah.
And they were so reassuring. They said, don't worry, leave this to me. And it's true, so it's really important that you have hands on the ground and that you have people who are so passionate about wanting to help their fellow neighbors. That makes a world of difference. So I'm very lucky.
It's a real community spirit.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I mean, in many ways, the programs that had already been started previously have just carried on almost seamlessly. So very good.
Right. And apart from concerts and stuff, Singapore has also been hosting various sporting events. What are some of the sporting events that we can look forward to, Minister?
Well, this afternoon, in fact, I'll be launching FIBA. So basketball.
nice.
Yeah, if you're keen.
Okay.
For the first time, FIBA will be holding its tournament here, major tournament here. First time in Asia, if I'm not
Nice.
wrong. Definitely first time in Singapore. So catch it at the indoor stadium. We're also very happy that school kids have come back to the stadium. So the one occasion which really made my hair stand and goosebumps was I was a keen follower of school sports. So we opened the doors to school rugby, and a couple of months back the finals were played there. I said I'll come and visit. I walked in and there were 8,000 school kids.
Wow.
8,000 school kids watching the final and the third and fourth placing. It was just unbelievable.
Amazing.
Unbelievable. And when I looked at the kids on the, actually boys, older boys, playing on the pitch, I could see that they were so charged up, so fired up. And I know that this will be an experience and a day that they will not forget. It's tremendous. I love that.
Yes, I have to thank you because my boys who really love football managed to actually play on that pitch, which, when you were growing up,
Yeah.
nobody's allowed on that
No,
field.
of course not.
Wait, this is the National Stadium, right?
The
National
National
Stadium.
Stadium.
Oh,
And I just
wow.
want everybody to know, many people think it's a hybrid pitch.
Yeah.
So it's not real grass.
Yeah, yeah.
It is 100%
It is real.
grass.
Yes, it is real. Yeah, I actually had the chance to speak to Jonathan.
Yes, we spoke to him
And
that night, remember?
He's like the pitch architect
Oh,
or something
yeah.
like that. There's a term for him, right?
Yeah.
And he makes sure that the grass is
Oh my God.
perfect
They
at
do
all
such an
time.
amazing job.
Yeah, really
Amazing.
well done.
I mean, the way it's done, it's like
It's
it's not
perfect.
science. It's a work of art.
Yes, it is. It's not enough credit is given to the
I
guys
feel like
that
maybe
manage
one
the
day we
pitch.
should have a picnic on that pitch.
You know what I did? I have to confess, when my boys were playing,
Yeah.
I laid down on the pitch.
That's the way.
And I played with the grass to check whether it was
It
real.
was real.
Yeah.
Did you at least take a picture?
Of course, I took a picture lying down on
Oh,
the pitch.
okay.
Do you
Without-
take off your shirt? No, you must let the grass touch your body.
People will think the whales from beached.
Beached whale. We don't want that.
Okay, we're on the radio right now on Kiss 92. We'll thank you, but then we'll continue to talk
Yes.
to you on the Big Show TV.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Minister
you
Edwin
guys
Tong, for
having me.
joining us
Thanks
this
for having
morning.
me this morning.
Wake up.
Just one more question. So, at the Sports Hub, right? What else has Sports SG been busy with?
Well, the key is, after we take back Sports Hub, it must be made to be a place for Singaporeans. People must feel comfortable coming here, hanging out. So we've turned it into a place where we can have a sports fiesta, which we've done. We celebrated Racial Harmony Month as well in July there with a Racial Harmony event, which we've never done before.
Nice.
A couple of months back, we had Hari Raya celebrations there. And of course, as I said, school sports. We've had, I can't remember now, but more than 60, 70 school sports finals held at the Sports Hub, either indoor stadium, one of the courts, or OCBC Arena, or at the National Stadium. So it's great that people feel a sense of connection with the Sports Hub, and that's the idea.
Yeah.
So our plans increasingly will be beyond just the concerts, the Taylor Swifts and the Coldplay. We'll also be doing local productions, bringing our local bands back to the Sports Hub, bringing the audience back there as well. And what we found, that just like music and Makan, creating an atmosphere of good music, good Makan, having casual family environment really works. So we're going to try and do a bit more of that.
Oh, that's
Fantastic.
fantastic.
I
No,
like
I
the
really
sound
love
of
that
that.
the Sports Hub, is being used,
Properly.
much more.
Yeah,
now.
to its full potential, if not more.
I mean,
I
called
love that.
Blackpink. was
Okay.
really
Like-
awesome
Yeah.
as well, and really looking forward to Coldplay and Taylor
And
Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Who
Yeah.
else would you like to see perform in Singapore?
Who else would you like to see?
Your,
I'm sure-
your wish is my command.
Oasis.
Ooh,
I wish Oasis would get back together. I've always wanted to watch them live. You know, if only Noel and Liam could get along.
They don't
Right?
get along.
They don't.
Yeah.
They
But
don't.
I'm very sure under these sleeves, he knows something that we all don't know about who's
Of course,
coming.
he's not allowed to say the press release is not out yet, so everything is embargoed
Well,
for now.
all I will say is that
checking
all,
the sleeves.
all I will say is that we have some other acts in store. coming through.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Maybe
coming through.
once the red light goes off and these mics go off,
Can tell
we'll
you-
tell us. We won't tell anyone. Okay, we need to wrap it up and go to news.
Okay, so
yeah.
thank you very much once again.
No, thank you
Mr.
guys.
Edwin
It's been
Tong.
such a great start to my morning. Thank you very
Aw,
much.
thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming in.
Always wonderful having you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.